Well, now, I am having multiple issues this morning with my touch pad on this laptop. It's killing me. When you go to move something and your arrow just doesn't move. We are back to talk about Lizzo. There is a new lawsuit that's out there. And let me tell you, I sometimes feel like people who have money, it's kind of like more money, more problems. You guys have heard it. I don't want to play the song because I don't want to go to copyright jail. More money, more problems. So she's got a new lawsuit out here. And I'm going to go directly to, well, I'm already there, to the attorney's website, the firm that is representing Asha Daniels. The reason I'm starting there is because they have just made it so easy for us. And I'm going to do another video on the law firm itself. But right now, I just want to take you to this page that they have here with everything listed here. They don't want you to go searching, they want you to know all about what's going on with this case. And in other words, you get to know all about them, the kind of representation that they provide. This is really about them to some extent. I feel like this is the attorneys versus Lizzo. This is Asha Daniels versus Melissa Jefferson, aka Lizzo. And then we have, and others, whoever that is. So there's this whole page. Excuse me. I do this every time I get ready to record. So when you go to their website, they have their homepage, press and media, press resources. And when you get to press resources, then you can pull up this case. So they've got the complaint, and I'm going to go over that in another video. I want to start with the press release because the press release sort of gives you the background information for those of you who don't want to have to listen to me read through a complaint. And that complaint is 44 pages, mind you. So I'm probably going to do that over a couple of videos. As you see, there are 7 different things listed there. Oh, 8, not, oh, assault. We got an assault listed up there. So you can tell I have not looked at that yet. We are going to start with this release. It is here in English. It is also here in Spanish. And there's also the right to sue letter. But we're going to start with this release because that gives us a pretty good sort of lay of the land here. All right, it says a copy of the lawsuit and visuals. I forgot to mention that. Let me scroll all the way down. I told you this is why I'm going to come back and take a look at their whole website after the media release. You also have media for download. So for press, you've got media, you've got videos, you've got the complaint. I'm wondering to what extent they are going to keep uploading this particular website, this page, and whether they will continue to add information. So, for instance, will we get the answer from Lizzo? I don't know. A copy of the lawsuit and visuals can be found here. All visuals are available for media use. Attorneys are available for interviews. I should call one up to do an interview. Plaintiff will not be giving additional interviews at this time. Lawsuit. Lizzo condones sexualized, racially charged, and illegal work environment as management team expresses racist and fatphobic comments, mocking Black women, denying worker medical care, and forcing her to endure degrading sexual harassment while she overheard crew members talking about purchasing hard drugs on tour. I'm going through that really fast because YouTube is going to pick that up and it is going to block this video from being shown here. So if you hear me sort of glossing over some of what is in this press release, now you know why. This is coming out of Los Angeles, September 21st of 2023, just a few days ago. Allegations of repeated, and we see what kind of harassment there, continue to plague Grammy Award-winning artist Lizzo as the pop star was hit Thursday with another lawsuit filed by a former employee the same day the performer was set to receive the Quincy Jones Humanitarian Award presented by the Black Music Action Coalition. And this is how press releases that get shared get written. Just pay attention here. A lawsuit was filed against Lizzo last month by 3 former dancers who say they were weight shamed and forced to endure some illegal things going on there, among other stunning accusations that cut against Lizzo's public persona of being accepting of all. The latest lawsuit was filed Thursday in Los Angeles County Superior Court against Melissa Jefferson, professionally known as Lizzo, her production company, Big Girl Big Touring Inc., her wardrobe manager, Amanda Nomura, and her tour manager, Carlina Gugliotta. Gugliotta, yes. Plaintiff Asha Daniels alleges, and you can see what the allegations are there, among other things. Okay, so then we've got a quote here, and it says, the timing of this awards announcement stinks of an architected PR stunt by Lizzo's team aimed at trying to repair the damage done to her brand. It won't work. With Lizzo's attack on the other plaintiffs, we've heard from more than 24 former Lizzo employees sharing similar stories of abuse who could be potential new plaintiffs. This is not going away, said plaintiff's attorney Ron Zambrano, a partner and employment litigation chair at West Coast Employment Lawyers. Lizzo is the boss, so the buck stops with her. She has created you can see what kind of charged environment there on her tours that her management staff sees as condoning such behavior. And so it continues unchecked. Lizzo certainly knows what's going on, but chooses not to put an end to this disgusting and illegal conduct and participates herself. Daniels, a professional clothing designer, designed the wardrobe for the dancers who would be on Lizzo's 2023 tour. In January 2023, Nomura reached out to Daniels, asking her to join Lizzo's BGBT tour, according to the lawsuit, so that she could be readily available to alter and repair clothing. Plaintiff was looking forward to working with Lizzo and her team because of the values Lizzo portrays in public, the lawsuit states, noting Daniels had expected a healthy, diverse environment with virtues of respect and empowerment of women. Unfortunately, the opposite turned out to be true. Plaintiff believes the following experience of degradation, and you see all of that listed there, were allowed to take place by Lizzo's management without consequence because she is a Black woman. Throughout her employment with Lizzo, the lawsuit alleges, Daniels was forced to hear these comments from Nomura while witnessing her mock both Lizzo and Lizzo's background dancers on multiple occasions. Nomura would imitate the dancers and Lizzo by doing an offensive, stereotypical impression of a Black woman. Nomura would also refer to Black women on the tour as, and you can see the descriptors that are listed there. Daniels, a Black woman, was so offended that she complained to Nomura on multiple occasions, but was rebuffed. Daniels and other crew members also experienced angry threats of physical harm from Nomura, who would say that she would, and you can see what the quotes are there, when she couldn't find her. Yeah. Nomura expressed that she would, and this goes on and on, if anyone threatened her job, the complaint continues. Lizzo's management was well aware of this pattern of behavior. Carlina Gugliotta, Lizzo's tour manager, even requested plaintiff to record Nomura without her knowledge, which plaintiff did not do, as it was both unethical and possibly unlawful. Adding to her disillusionment and disgust, Daniels was forced to endure this by Lizzo's management, specifically in one instance being on a group text with more than 30 members of the BGBT team that included graphic and disturbing images. And you can see of what? Lizzo's management found the image to be comical, further encouraging an unsafe and charged workplace culture, the lawsuit states, a culture that has been nurtured and condoned by Lizzo. Daniels also witnessed Nomura, the crew, and Lizzo's management team openly discussing hiring workers for certain acts while on tour in Amsterdam, attending shows and buying these items listed here. Daniels began work on the tour in mid-February 2023 when the disappointing reality sunk in as she was forced to work 20-hour days, often 7 days a week, and frequently denied breaks, the lawsuit states. According to the complaint, Daniels was instructed by Nomura that she should have no direct contact with Lizzo because the performer would be jealous of her, and that if she did, she should tone it down, specifically referencing not to dress attractively in front of Lizzo. Nomura told Daniels Lizzo expressed jealousy toward her once when Nomura was around Lizzo's boyfriend. Almost immediately, Daniels was introduced to Lizzo's culture of racism and bullying as she witnessed the dancers, mostly women of color, being forced to change clothes quickly during shows in a tiny changing area with no privacy. Members of Lizzo's stage crew, particularly white males, would, and as you could see, while watching the dancers rush through their outfit changes, according to the lawsuit. Plaintiff expressed concern to Nomura about the lack of privacy and necessary accommodations and tools Black female performers would need on tour, the lawsuit continues. However, Nomura merely laughed at the dancers' poor accommodations and advised plaintiff not to alert anyone else about the issue or try to fix the issue. Plaintiff would later learn details that led her to believe that this was a setup to humiliate, and you'll see the rest there, for the Black female performers. Daniels experienced even more shocking and behavior as the tour went on, as she was informed not to replace the ripped fishnet stockings of dancers even though they had plenty of inventory, according to the lawsuit. She also was specifically instructed not to give certain dancers, wow, okay, those are some items you would think they would need, or other items they would need for their outfits, and to prepare to go on stage. Further, in February 2023, according to the complaint, Nomura rolled a heavy clothing rack over Daniels' foot, causing severe pain. But Nomura merely ignored it and pushed Daniels into the rack, causing a more severe injury. Nomura forced Daniels to continue working in tennis shoes, not her preferred sandals, given the injury. Before agreeing to the tour, the lawsuit states, plaintiff was explicitly promised that she would not have to perform physically demanding duties. This made the demand to change shoes unreasonable and caused unnecessary compounded injury, as she was also denied medical treatment and forced to work on her feet. Daniels finally had enough later that month and took her complaints of widespread to Gugliotta, Lizzo's tour manager. Specifically, plaintiff told Gugliotta that the Black dancers were being mocked, objectified, and denied accommodations by the stage crew and Nomura, the complaint states. Plaintiff also told Gugliotta that she and her local teams were victims of Nomura's verbal and physical abuse, racist comments, bullying, and withholding of accommodations. Plaintiff explained she believes Nomura's behavior was racially motivated and stated, "It's not lost on me that I'm one of the only Black women working behind the scenes, and I feel like Nomura is treating me like I'm a slave." Daniels was informed and believes that Gugliotta took her complaints directly to Lizzo, given she is the tour manager and has a close relationship with the performer, and because she believed Lizzo would not tolerate this toward the dancers or the few Black women that worked behind the scenes on her tour. Nothing was done, and the toxic environment continued until Daniels was abruptly fired, despite apologies from Gugliotta and being told that everyone knows Nomura is crazy, but that Nomura would be too hard to replace, and that she wanted Daniels fired for lodging her complaints, a clear and illegal retaliatory termination. Due to the, as you see, work environment and also the unreasonable physical requirements of the plaintiff, she suffered constant anxiety and panic attacks, the complaint states. She continues to suffer ongoing anxiety and PTSD after the tour. She suffers from migraines and migraine induced eye twitch and ocular distortions, brain fog, and fatigue. And then there you have some information here about West Coast Employment Lawyers. They are a Los Angeles based West Coast employment firm, I guess, with 100 years of a collective experience. And I will leave that so that you can read all of that yourself. But now this gives you some background as to how Asha Daniels is saying she was mistreated illegally on the tour while she worked for Lizzo. And again, part of why I'm not reading this word for word and leaving some of the words out is because YouTube won't let the video be shown, which I have a problem. I have a big problem with, because it means that for people who are bringing up actual court public documents that people can read, it almost makes it seem like there's something so wrong with what's in the documents that you can't share it. And the ironic thing is, yes, there is something wrong in the documents, and that is precisely why it needs to be shared. So at some point in time, I wish YouTube would move beyond that and stop restricting things from being seen without actually making sure that they're okay and not just doing that based on what their algorithm picks up in the video. But now you have a lot more information about what the background is for this. And I probably could have made that a little bit bigger. What the background is regarding this complaint from Asha Daniels. And like I said, you've got her attorneys there who provided a lot of information there. And I'm just going to be pumping out these videos on this so we can break all of this down. And the lawsuit is 44 pages, so it's going to be pretty long. I'm going to try to break that up too. And to some extent, you may not hear me say specific words because I do want the video to be watched and shared and for people to learn more about what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. Things that used to be okay in the work environment, we've learned that's not the best thing to be doing. Not only is it not professional, but the way we're treating people is just entirely disrespectful sometimes. So that's something to think about. I think we all have an opportunity to learn and grow and become our best selves. And I hope that's what we're doing with this. So hope you got some information out of this press release that's coming from the attorneys representing Asha Daniels. Don't forget to like the video, share the video, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss a thing. And peace.